So we've done this using graphical. Our maximum was 13 naira under 2, 3. 2 units of x and 3 of y. That's my goal. Let's use simplex. Look at this. Using simplex method. Using simplex method. Now listen. How do you solve this by using simplex? Listen. Your first task is this. Pick out this one here. I have 3x plus 4y. Your first task is to add what's called slack variables. Please. Your first task is to add what's called it's called this slack variables. What's slack variables? Look up. In the layman's term, slack variable is simply s1 and s2. That's all. So for the first one, it becomes 3x plus 4y plus s1. Change here to equal to 18. That's all. For the second one, I'm having 2x plus 5y plus s2. My second slack variable is equal to 19. These two there. What's next? My next task is this. Listen. For the objective function, you don't add what there slack variable. You don't. What do you do? Listen. I have this z is equal to 2x plus 3y. Your next task to do this, please. Equate the objective function to 0. To make this man 0, is either I move z from here to this point, that's minus z, here will be 0, or you leave z here and move these 2 instead. Please, for simplex method, make sure that the profit function z is always positive. For z to be positive, that means I have to move these 2 instead. So move 2, then it becomes minus 2x. Move this one, it becomes what there? Minus 3y, then what there? Plus z equal to 0. This is your next task. Keep the profit function as positive. Move the variables. That's the task. Alright. My next task is now minus 2x minus 3y plus z is equal to 0 for others. After this, what next? Simplex method. Case 1, add slack variables. Take out inequality. Case 2, from objective function, make this one positive. Move the other variables equal to 0. Step 3, create a table of all the variables and slack, of course, all the variables. Both this variable and the slack variable. So this is what my table looks like. My table becomes this. X, becomes X. Y, so xy, next up, s1, my first slack variable, next up, s2, my second slack variable, next up, z. So these are like all my variables in this stuff here. That's x, y, s1, s2, and z. That's how you do this. Okay, so what next? Break this one down, yeah? You're having this, perhaps, let's do this like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at this. From this equation here, you can call this equation 1. Equation 1, what's x here? What's the coefficient here? 3 of y, of x, y, 4, s1, 1. Any s2 here? Any z here? Is equal to what there? So you have this. This is what you have first. My next equation is this one here. What's the coefficient here of x? 2, y, any s1, s2, any z here, answer, finally this. Finally is z. For z, what do you have here? Minus 2. Next up, minus 3. Any S1, S2, Z. This gives you what there? So don't worry, just put this in. Exactly. Now this. You've created this. You've created this. At this point, listen up. At this point, what's my next task? My next task is to get what is called the pivot element. What's a pivot element? We'll come to that. But how do I get a pivot element? To get your pivot element, your first task is to look out for your most negative column. Or here's your task. Look out for the last row. My last row is this one here. From my last row, look out from the most negative element. Between all of these, which of them is the most negative element here? Minus 3. So start with this one here. Minus 3 here gives you your pivot column. The most negative, minus 3, gives you your pivot column. That's it. You want to get pivot element, that's your first task. When I get the pivot, when I get the most negative element column, what's next? Do a division. What division? I will come here and create another thing here for ratio. This for ratio. The ratio will be between your answers and the elements in your pivot column. The answer here is 18. I'm having 18 divided by the pivot column here is this one here. So trace 18 by this one here, 4. Divide 18 by 4. Please give me answer. What do you have? Sorry? 4.5. Your next task, repeat the same process. I have as 19. So it becomes 19 all over this one here, 5. What do you have there? Sorry? 3.8. From these values here, look out for the smallest value. My smallest value is this one here, which comes from this value here. So hence, this one becomes the pivot element. Pivot. So it becomes the pivot element. So see where we get pivot element. You said? This one here? No, don't worry. Please. That's why I said don't blink, listen, so you don't miss it up. From here, the most negative, minus 3. So this becomes the maximum column. This becomes the choosing column. From this one here, how do you know the pivot element? You don't consider this. How do you know the pivot element? It's simply your answer divided by this one, you get this. This one here, divided by this, you get this. Pick out the least value. The least value is 3.8. It comes from this. So 5 becomes your pivot element. Having identified the pivot element, what's the next step? Make pivot elements to unity. So make 5 pivot elements to be unity. Alright. So if I have this here, look at it. If I have 5 here, if I want to make 5 units, what do I do? Huh? Multiply by 5. Divide by 5 now. So look up. Look up. That's why I say listen carefully. This is in your exam, they'll give you three of this. So you have X, Y, Z, S1, S2, S3. That's the more complex one. Let's start with this one first. So we've gotten this here. I said, make this my unity. That's what. How do you do that? It's as easy as dividing it by itself. In this case now, this is what's called row operations. This is row 1, this is row 2, this is row 3. To make this my unity, the idea with this, let row 2 be equal to 1/5 row 2. Of course. My idea is this. If I multiply here by 1/5, give me 1. So use the same thing for all the rows. Look up. What's up? Why is 5 Bible? Why is 5 Bible? Most negative. Pick out the column here. Most negative element is this. Out of all of this is this. So pick out this one here. Divide this by just one in this column here. 18 over 4. 4.5. 19 over 5. 3.8. Between 4.5 and 3.8, which term is least? Least is 3.8. That was from 5. That's why 5 became. Look at this. Look up. So I now have x, y, s1, s2, z, and this. Now listen. Oh, I want to make, look up. I'm only working with row 2. Row 1 and row 3 remains constant. So simply pick out everything in row 1 except ratio. This ratio was just for me to know my pivot element. So leave out the ratio for now. Pick out everything in row 1. So I have 3, 4, 1, 0, 0, 18. So I have 3, 4, 1, 0, 0, 18. Row 2, they said divide all row 2 by 5. So it becomes 2 times 1 over 5. What do you get there? 2 over 5. So I have here as 2 over 5. Divide this. So 5 times 1 over 5. What do you get there? 1. So I have 1 here. 0 times 1 over 5. What do you get there? 0. 1 times 1 over 5, that's 1 over 5. 0 times 1 over 5, that's 0. Finally, 19 times 1 over 5. What do you have there? No, give me, see, don't use this mark here. Don't use this mark, it will affect your work. Use fractions. So what do you have? 19 over 5. So I have this. There was no operation, look at this. There was no operation for the third one. So repeat the third one. Minus 2 minus 3. So minus 2 minus 3. 0, 0, 1, 0. So I'm here. Listen. So we've made our pivot element to unity. What's next? For the volume of the pivot element, make sure that all the elements there are 0. So this is the volume of the pivot element. My next task, make this 0, make this 0. How do I do that? If I have 4, how do I make 4 0? What do I do? Subtract. You know what? If I have 4, I want to make 4 0. What do I do? Subtract 4, Abi. That's like the only thing you can do now, is it not? Yes. If I got what? Nah. If you multiply by 0, you kill everything. It's not work. Yes, you can multiply by 0, but if you do that, if you give that approach, you make everything be 0. It's not work. Listen. If you multiply by 0, you kill everything. But listen, let me save you the stress. Listen. What you do is this: you do row manipulation. What you choose, listen, what you choose to use is peculiar to you. You can choose your own thing, I'll choose my own thing. We're using different equations. At the end, we have the same answer. So far, we are both correct. So, in other words, there is no one way of doing it. No. There are different ways of doing it. Just make sure you're correct. But how do you solve this? Look at this. How do you solve this? Listen, my idea is this. If I can subtract this with 0 by 4, if I can subtract 4 by 4, it will give me 0. So hence, I'll form an equation in terms of rows. My row 1 will be equal to, look at this. Let me give you a layman's way of doing this. Your layman's way is this. Work with the 2 rows, like these 2 rows. If I have 4 and I have 1, I know this. I know that 4 minus 4 times 1 is equal to 0. True of us? Yeah? So, listen up. I still work with these 2. So, the idea is always this. Look up. The idea is always this. Row 1, row 2. Fine. Do it this way. times this minus this times this. It will give you an equation straight. Yes, that's better way. This times this minus this times this. So check it out please. Look at row 2. Don't forget, my focus is on the pivot one here. For row 2, what do you have here? 1. So it becomes 1 times 4. For row 1, what do you have here? 4 minus, so this times this minus this times this. That becomes what there? Minus what? 4 times 1. Alright, minus 4 times 1. If I put, look up. If I put the idea of row here, look at this. This 4 was from which row? Row 1. So this becomes row 1 minus 4 times 1 was from which row? Row 2. So hence my equation is this, that row 1 should be equal to row 1 minus 4 row 2. That's it. That's it. Row 1 should be equal to row 1, that's 4 minus, this is 4. So 4 minus 4 times 1 will give you 4 minus 4, that's what there? 0. And that's the judgment. Now hang on. Let's get for row 3. What will row 3 be? It was there? Row 3. Look at me. Listen. I want to use the same concept. So row 3 I have what there? Minus 3 minus, is it minus or plus? Hold on. If I have minus 3, I want to make it 0. It should be what there? Plus 3, I mean. Yes. So it becomes minus 3 plus what there? 3 times what there? Root 2. Because I know that 3 times 1 gives you what there? 3. So minus 3 plus 3 gives you what there? 0. So root 3 becomes equal to root 3 plus 3 root 2. It's quite technical, but get it please. Here, listen again. Here is 4. I want to make it 0. The idea is this: subtract 4 by 4 to give you 0. I have 1 here. If I multiply 4 by 1 to give you 4, such that 4 minus 4 gives you 0. So it becomes row 1 minus 4 row 2. This one here is minus 3. I want to make it 0. I have to do a plus 3. So it now becomes row 3 plus 3 row 2. So that's it. So at the receiving end will always be row 2. But see how you can tweak this to get this. Okay. This is why I skipped one by YouTube. This is why I skipped it. It's technical. But don't worry, we'll do, by the time we do 2, 3 examples, we'll get it. Just relax. So listen. Yes. Sorry? I can't hear you. Why do I skip row 2? Because the idea is this. Make in my row 2, I have my pivot element, which we want to make unity. I've achieved that. My next task, make the other element in the pivot element to be in the pivot one there, code u to be 0. So I want to make this and this 0. This one is leave it as 1. So leave this one here, work with these 2. That's the idea. Help me out please. So we said, look at this. Row 1, look at this. We said row 1 is equal to, look at. Let's start with this. We said row 1 is equal to, am I recording? Yeah. We said row 1 is equal to what there? Row 1 minus 4 row 2. Start with this first. Row 1 gets what? 3 minus 4 into, what is the row 2 equivalent? So by what there? 5. Please. Row 1, 3 minus 4 into row 2. Row 2 here is 2 over 5. Give me this answer. What do I have, please? 7 over 5. Huh? 7 over 5. 7 over 5. So I have 7 over 5. Please follow up. I'm done with this. Come to the next one again. It says row 1. I'm done with this. Come to this. Row 1 minus 4 row 2. What's row 1 here? 4 minus 4 into what is its row 2 equivalent? 1. So it becomes 4 minus 4. How many there? 0. So it becomes 0. Yeah? So I have this. Okay. Next up again, row 1. What's row 1 here? 1 minus 4 into row 2 equivalent 0. So what do I get here? 1. 1 minus, this is 0, that's 1. So I have 1, yeah? Again, come to S2. It says row 1, 0 minus 4 times row 2. Row 2 here is what there? 1 over 5. Multiply this one again there. Minus 4 over 5. Minus 4 over 5. Finally, this one. Okay, I still have Z. Okay, Z. That becomes what there? Row 1, 0. Minus 4 into row 2 here. 0. What do I get here? 0. So Z is 0 here. The final one, 18. Row 1, 18 minus 4 into row 2 equivalent 19 over 5. Please give me some of this. Row 1 minus 4 row 2. What do you have? 14 over 5. Alright, so I'm done with row 1 there. Row 2, leave it that way this. So it becomes what there? 2 over 5, 1, 0, 1 over 5, 0, 19 over 5. I'm done with this. Next up, row 3 operation. Look at it. We said row 3 is equal to what there? Row 3 plus what? 3 row 2. Now look up. Thank God. Thank God. Listen. Row 3 is here. This is minus 2 plus 3 into what row 2 equivalent here? 2 over 5. Please give me an answer here. What do you got? Sorry? Minus 4 over 5. Okay. Next up, pick up the next one there, row 3. I'm done with this one there. The next one is this. Row 3 is what there? Minus 3 plus 3 into row 2 equivalent. This gives you what there? 0. So I have this. What's the next one there? 0 plus 3 times what there? So what do you get here? What's the next one there? This one I mean. So 0 plus 3 into what there? So what do you get here? 3 over 5. 3 over 5. Next one there, plus 3 times. So what do you get there? 1. One final step. Row 3, what do you have here? Plus 3 times row 2. Please give me an answer here. What do you have? Sorry?
57 over 5.
You have what there?
57 over 5.
57 over 5. So observe, I have made, look at this. Observe, I have made elements here and here to be 0. Am I done? No. What's next? when do I know I should stop? You only stop when the elements in your last row are all positive. If I still have a negative element in my last row, that means I have not reached a feasible region. So what do I do again there? I will repeat the process from the beginning again. Next task here is to find my new pivot element. What's the first task? Look out for the most negative element in my last row. My last row is this one here. The most negative element is this one here. What next? Pick out the value of that element. That becomes this value here. Okay, so what next? Locate pivot element. How? Divide this by this. Divide this by this and get answers. So that means ratio. Now listen. I have this 14 over 5. Divide this by what you have here, 7 over 5. That gives you what there? 2. Abi? Please check. This over gives you 2. Yes. Because I have 14 over 5 divided by what I have here, 7 over 5. So we come to what there? Times, in fact, 5 over 7. This cancels this. 7 here 1, 7 here 2. So you have 2 there. Same thing here. I have 19 over 5. Divide this by what you have there. 2 over 5. You answer this one there. Abi? Yes. Alright, the answer gives you 9.5. With these two values, please, which of them is the pivot element? Huh? Listen. Which of them is your pivot element? We said trace it this way, 7 over 5, not 2. It was from 2 that we know the indication. 2 was my least answer. 2 was gotten from this one. So it becomes 7 over 5. It becomes my new pivot element. Look up. I identified 7 over 5 as my new pivot element. I want to make this unity, please. What do I do? First, then divide. Divide. Sure. R1 equal to what? You have 7 over 5. Make 7 over 5 to be 1. What do you do there? Multiply by 5 over what there? 7. Multiply this by 5 over 7. This cancels this 1, 1. This cancels this 1. You have 1 here. What are you dividing again? Or, yes, I think if you can divide by something, no wahala. But I think the easiest part is to multiply. Multiply by 5 over 7. You get the answer. That's it. So to make this my unity, R1 becomes what there? 5 over 7 what there? R1. In the first one, it was 1 over 5. Divide by 5 to get 1. In this case now, 1 5 over there, 5 over 7 to get 1. So play the new game again. Now listen. Our new pivot element is 7 over 5. We want to make it unity. We said multiply by what there? 5 over 7. So multiply this by what? 5 over 7. You get what there? 1. So it becomes 1. Multiply this by 5 over 7, you get what there? 0. So I have 0. Multiply this by 5 over 7, you get what there? Huh? 5 over 7. That gives you 5 over 7 times 1 now. Multiply this by 5 over 7. What do you get there? Minus 4 over 7. Abi? Yeah? It becomes 5 over 7 times what you have here, minus 4 over 5. This will cancel out. So minus 4 over 7. So I have minus 4 over 7. Z is 0. Multiply by 5 over 7 gives you what there? 0. So I have 0. Next one is 14 over 5. 14 over 5 multiplied by 5 over 7. This cancels this. What do you have there? 2. So I have 2. That's all. So I'm done with this one. Just repeat these 2. My task was to make this one here unity, which I've done. Repeat these 2. So 2 over 5, 1. So I now have, we are almost ending. We're almost done with this. So 2 over 5. Next up, 1. Next up, 0, 1 over 5, 0. So I have 0, 1 over 5, 0. Next up, 19 over 5. So I have 19 over 5. Repeat this one here. Minus 4 over 5, 0, 0. So I have minus 4 over 5, 0, 0. 3 over 5, 1. 3 over 5, 1. 57 over 5. 57 over 5. What's my next task here? What's my next task here? I have made pivots to the unity. Make the other element in this going to be what there? 0. So make it 0, make it 0, and we are done. That's all. Make it 0, make it 0, and we are done. So look at this. Next task, make this man to be 0. So our next task is to make all the other elements in the column of my pivot element to be 0. So root 2 becomes what there? So the idea is this, I'm having 2 over 5. How do I make 2 over 5 to be 0? If I can subtract 2 over 5 from 2 over 5, give me 0. So hence, keep 2 over 5 pending. It becomes root 2 minus, to get 2 over 5, I have to do 2 over 5 times 1 here, which is root 1. Which is root 1. Please give me root 3 equation. What do you have? Root 3 plus what? 4 over 5 what there? Yeah, you got it. You got it. That's it. You got it. That's it. Right. Correct. Create yet another table. X, Y, S1, S2, Z. So I have this, and this. Right. So I have this one there. Don't forget, we are not working with 1. So simply bring down this one, attach it here. It becomes what there? 1, 0, 5 over 7, minus 4 over 7, 0, and 2. Let's start this operation. For the first one here, we said root 2 should be equal to root 2 minus 2 over 5 root 1. To get this done, root 2 here is 2 over 5 minus 2 over 5 times its root 1 equivalent, which is 1. This will give you 0. Because I'm having 2 over 5 minus 2 over 5 times 1. That's 0. So I have successfully made it 0. So this gives you 0. Next up, pick up this man next, root 2. That's 1 minus 2 over 5 of its root 1 equivalent, 0. This one gives you 0. I'm left with what there? 1. This becomes 1. Next up, pick up the next root 2. 0 minus 2 over 5. Pick up row 1, 5 over 7. This gives you 0 minus these two cancel out. So I have what there? Minus 2 over what there? 7. What ones you have what there? Minus 2 over 7. Minus 2 over 7. When do you stop? S2. This one here. So I have row 2, 1 over 5 minus 2 over 5 into what's row 1 here? Minus 4 over what? 7. Just give me this work here. What do you have? Works out. What do you have? Let's work out. Very fast. What do you have?
3 over 7.
Huh? 3 over 7. So 3 over 7. For Z, it becomes 0 minus 2 over 5 times what there? 0. What gives you what there? That's 0. The last one here. The last one here, so it becomes row 2, 19 over 5 minus 2 over 5 times, what's the one here? 2. What do you get? 3. Okay, so I have 3 here. So I'm done with row 2. Come to row 3. Come to row 3. Row 3 gives you row 3 plus 4 over 5 row 1. So let's repeat the operation please. Row 3 here, what do you have here? Minus 4 over 5 plus 4 over 5 into row 1. This one here, row 1 is this. So I'm having what here? 1. If you work this out, what do you get there? 0. Minus 4 over 5 plus 4 over 5. That gives you 0. So I have 0 here. Next up, if I take this one here, it becomes 0. That's 0 here. Plus 4 over 5 times each row 1 equivalent 0. So it becomes 0 plus 0. That gives you 0. This one here, I have, this one here actually, row 3, 0 plus 4 over 5, what's the one here? 5 over 7. This will give you what here? 4 over 7. 0 plus 4 over 7. So I have 4 over 7. Where are we? This one here? 3 over 5 plus 4 over 5 times each row 1 equivalent minus 4 over 7. So please punch this one out. Sorry? 1 over 7. 2 left. Okay. So this one here becomes what there? 1 plus 4 over 5. Row 1 equivalent gives you what there? So what do I have here? 1. Last task, what do I have here? 57 over 5 plus 4 over 5 times row 1 here. 2. What's the answer here? 13. 13. So I'm here. At this point, am I done?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Listen. How do I know I'm done? There is what there? No negative again. Listen. There is no negative again. So I'm done. So how do I pick out my answer? Listen. This is how you pick out your answer. If I look at x, I can see 1 here. 1, 0, 0. So x is equal to, and x being 1, what's the value here? 2. So x is equal to 2. That's like that value. For y is 1. What's the answer here? 3. It becomes 3. For your profit function, it becomes 1. When your answer was what there? The same 13 naira we had using graphical method. one here is not 1 anywhere. Ignore it. This one here is 1. Place it here is 13. So the same answer when we use graph. So this is simplex. That was look at this. Here's what you should know about simplex. Listen. Simplex only helps you to maximize function. It doesn't help you to minimize. Please take note. So if they ask you to minimize an autistic function under constraints, if the word says minimize, you cannot use simplex. Simplex can only give you a maximized value. And that's it. Is that okay now?